Tell us about yourself.
Most of my work experience comes from working with people. It just happens so that I worked for several years as a social worker working with families. Um, Another one of my experiences is from working with disabled and elderly people. When I worked as health program manager. And my last job in Houston, Texas was as a guardianship specialist. And I also worked with elderly and disabled people. And I feel like I connect well with people, and I enjoy working with people, and my real strength is attention to detail. When I commit to something, I make sure that I finish it, it's done on time, and it's done well. Um, I'm looking forward to my new career in nursing because for that fact that I enjoy working with people, and then I enjoy helping people.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 2 to 3 years?
Um, my hope is to get a residency position as a new graduate nurse in labor and delivery. I fell in love with this field and chose it as my specialty. And in 2 or 3 years, I'm hoping to get as much experience in this field as possible, and I'm hoping to be able to obtain professional certification in this field. And I'm also thinking about getting further education, and by that time, I'm hoping to kind of figure out and determine specifically what degree I'm going to get next.
What previous job was the most satisfying and why?
My most satisfying job was my last job in Alaska when I worked as health program manager. And the most enjoyable part of it was the extensive travel that I did. I got to travel to various remote places like villages and small towns all over Alaska. And I got to meet people from different Alaska Native tribes. And I lived with them. I got to experience the native way of life, like fishing, food preparation, like stuff like that. So I feel like it made me more culture sensitive, and I believe it's going to be of great help to me in my future career as a nurse.
Tell me about the most difficult client service experience that you have ever had to handle, perhaps an angry or upset client.
Um, it happened quite a bit when I used to work as a social worker in child protection. People get angry when they are threatened with losing a child. And I routinely had to do home visits with such families where the children either already were removed or were about to be removed. And the parents had to comply with a case plan. So I went to a home once, and the father started getting really agitated. He started screaming at me and telling me that he was sick and tired with us people getting into his business. I got scared, but I was able to stay calm. I was able not to lose my composure. I was able to speak with him in a very firm but polite tone of voice and reassure him that I was there to help him and his family through these difficult times. So I was able to dissipate the situation, and the situation kind of calmed down and resolved itself like that, and I was able to leave the house or their home unharmed.
Please describe a situation that required you to complete a number of things at the same time. How did you decide what was the most important and what was the result?
Situations like that happened quite often, pretty much maybe on a weekly basis when I had my very last job, which was in Houston, Texas, and I worked as a guardianship specialist. Pretty regularly, once in a while, one of my wards would have to be either hospitalized on an emergency basis, or a young adult would run away, a young adult with mental health issues. So I like to start my day with planning it out, making sure that everything gets covered and done for the day. But when something like a crisis happens, I would have to kind of be flexible, look at my day again, at whatever is on my list for that day, and rearrange things, prioritize things, figure out what has to happen first, what has to happen before the end of the day, and what can wait until the following day. This strategy worked well. It worked for me. It helped me be able to do what I routinely had to do on an everyday basis, and accomplish whatever had to happen to attend to the crisis or to the emergency situation. So it worked for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.